Hi there and welcome to Hyundai Power Products. My name's Adrian and today we're going to look at a brand new product for 2026. So this is the HYFT60SPX field trimmer. So I'm going to open the box, lay the contents on the table so you can see exactly what you get. So first of all, we have the field trimmer main unit itself here. So there is going to be some assembly to be done, but I will take you through that. You have some spare tines for the end. As you can see, they fit on the underside. We have this bag here which has assorted tools and a few fastenings which we're going to fit and use. And then we have this side piece here which we're going to fit as well. I'll take you through all the assembly next. As with all products from Hyundai, the final thing in the box is going to be the user manual. Now we do strongly recommend that you read the user manual thoroughly before use. Step 1 of assembly, I'm going to move this upper handle back over onto the table here, taking care not to damage any of the cables, and then I'm going to remove the 4 bolts that hold the handle on, ready to accept the handle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is open these 2 cam locks on either side, and that allows movement of the 2 handles independently. And then, taking care not to trap any of the cables, I'm going to offer up the lower frame into the holders there, and then I'll just allow the upper handle to rest on top of the machine. So with that done, that will allow me to fit, just align it first, a few of the bolts into the holes. So I'll go through the detail of these bolts in a moment. So we have 3 components to each one of the bolts. The bolt itself, the little spacer with a curve one side and a flat edge the other side, and obviously the nut. So I'm going to feed the washer on, you won't be able to see it at this angle, so that the curved face is facing the bolt on the inside. So I'll just locate the bolt from the outside in, and then that washer with the curved face facing in, and then finally put the nut on, just loosely to start with. I'll fit all 4 bolts into the handles and then tighten up the nuts. So with the lower handle fitted and the 4 knobs are tightened up, I can swing the handle over into position. Now again, be careful with the control cables that you don't snag anything when you're bringing it over. So just put that cam lock back into position, and I'll lock that one as well. So I've got my 4 cables, or 3 cables I should say, here, and we haven't damaged anything while we've been assembling it. Final little bit of housekeeping, plastic clip. Let's put that on, put the cables inside it, and fit it onto the lower handle. So in the little kit bag again, you'll see what we call a pigtail and an M6 nut. There are 2 holes in the handle here. If you go to the upper hole, feed it with a pigtail on the outside, nut on the inside, and simply tighten up with a 10mm spanner. And you want the pigtail rotate direction to be with the hole facing down the shaft of the handle. So show you what the pigtail's for. The recoil's down here on the engine top, but obviously when you're starting the engine, it'd be nice if it was up by the operating position. So I'll just pull out a bit of recoil lead, round the back, through the loop, release, and that's the starter handle up where it's more convenient. So there is a bit of a knack to putting this in. It seems a bit brutal, but it is the way to do it. With it upright, push that fully in, and then just firmly push down, and you'll hear that clunk. That's it going into position. I can then push down, and it's now in position. So using the same screw that we removed from under here, we'll replace that screw first. So you may need to tip the machine up on end to do this. Okay, that's up on firmly in place. When the machine arrives to you, you'll notice, after removing the packaging, you'll notice that this handle isn't fitted in the hole. That's deliberate and for transport purposes. So there's a pin on the end of here, which you'll see the corresponding hole, just a little bit of flexing, and you'll see now that that's in the hole. Again, because it's all been folded and put away and packaged, little bits of adjustment that need to be done. So what you should have is a little bit of flex in there, so that handle, as you can see, is tight all the way down. This one, you can see, has a little bit of flop. So what we need to do is to take out the backlash in this cable. Very simple to do. Down here on the handles, you'll see which cable it is. It's the one that goes into the rear of the mower. That makes it quite simple, into the back on that side. So I need to just unscrew this here, holding the top piece, unscrew this piece, and you will see the handle coming forward towards you as you screw. When you get to the point where the handle stops, so it's got a little bit more to go. Okay, so it's just a tiny little bit of backlash in there. That's the correct position. Once you've done that, you can then screw this nut down back here, and then with a pair of spanners, tighten up the connection. And that's the correct adjustment of the cables. With a new machine, they may stretch over quite a short period of time initially until they bed in. So you may find you have to do that over the first few months of use a couple of times, just so that there's no great flop in these handles. There's a little bit there, but that's fine. Okay, so having put oil in the machine, we've got fresh fuel in the machine. Let's look at the controls, the start-stop procedures and what does what. So first of all, you've got the throttle here. Now this doubles up as an on-off switch. In the right back position, this will switch the engine off. Forward of there, maybe a few degrees, that's the point somewhere in the middle there where it's at idle, and then full engine speed right forward. At any time you want to stop the engine, pull this handle right back and the engine will stop. Okay, so this handle at the front here, the one we just adjusted, is what starts the head of the machine spinning. So the front part of the front handle does the front of the machine, as if you can imagine. So this starts the rotation of the head. And then the rear handle, you can see here, which I'm operating, operates the rear wheels, the drive of the machine. Obviously, the faster RPM you're doing, the faster the drive will go. The faster the RPM you're doing, the faster that the cutting head will rotate. So starting position, another thing this throttle lever does is fully forward, puts the choke on. So for a cold start, fully forward. If that fully forward, you can simply pull the recoil and the engine will start. Once the engine has started, drop it back a little bit until we've gone off choke, and you'll hear the engine tone change. You can hear it when the choke has been turned off. Obviously, you can vary the RPM. The further back you go, you will get to a point where if you go too far back, it'll shut the engine off. So you'll soon get used to the positions on this handle, but fully forward for a cold start and maybe just back a little bit for a warm start. Cutting head height adjustment. 4 positions for this. So in the toolkit, it comes with the Allen key, the specialist tool, that goes down in the hole on the top here. You can see there's one here, and there's an equal hole on the other side, and you'll see the Allen bolts. There's one on top and one on the bottom. That allows the cutting head to float. So moving forward from there, you will see 4 spacers on the underside of the cutting head. You will have 4 separate spaces where you can put it, and by removing or adding spaces, if you remove them, you will cut closer to the ground. By adding spaces, you will be cutting further away. So the way to do that, with the Allen keys locked, and I can hold the shaft with the key, 13mm spanner, and undo the bottom bell. Right. I can remove this screw completely and the bell, and then as you can see then, there are your 4 spacers. So for instance, if I was to put only 1 spacer in, which is what I'll do, I can lower the cutting height. So what I'll do, I'll put 1 in for demonstration purposes, but it could be 2, 3, 4, whatever height you desire. So with that in position, I now need to lower the head. To do this, I've already undone the other screw, undo the screw until it comes down onto my 1 spacer. I can tighten up that screw, and then I'll also go around the other side and tighten the other screw. That's both screws tight, and that would cut a lot closer to the ground. I could loosen the screws, push it back up, obviously fit some more spacers, however many I want, and that's how you adjust the cutting height with 4 positions. Well, I do hope you found this demonstration useful. For more information on this or any of our other products, contact www.hyundaipowerproducts.co.uk. I've been Adrian, and thanks for watching.